It's 9:04 in the morning in the Pacific Standard Time. This is Blaine Williams. We just had Jeff Fluck do a nice job of greeting people. I'm joined by quite a few people here from around the country and up in Canada. And as we are rolling out the MPG Extreme business opportunity backed by a fabulous product, the Premium X Cab, we have something on our hands here that is quite unique. And I want to make it clear to each one of you that there are decades and decades of experience represented, not just on this webinar, but in the leadership team at MPG Extreme. And that experience is not just having been in. Some people can be in network marketing and it's just like a job. They do it for 40 years. They get up in the morning, they go to work, they put in their 8 or 10 hours, and then they get up the next morning, they do it again. And then at the end of the year, they get paid their 50, 60, 80, 100, $200,000, whatever it is. And then they do it again the next year. And I was looking at something that was posted online yesterday, and it talked about the wage, the average wage of an American employee in 2000 or 1997. And it showed the bump or the increase, and it was almost an immeasurable increase. And I can't tell you the numbers, I don't have it in front of me, but it was almost a negligible increase. And what was interesting about that, as we took a look at that negligible increase, then they put next to it the cost of homes, cars, food, gas, and the like. And so the person's income was here 25 years ago, and now it's here. And so their income is now here, but now here's what the cost of goods are. So they have the sense of moving forward, but it's like giving a rat in a cage a little piece of cheese, and you're drawing them over a little bit at a time to the corner, and in the corner there's a little feed bucket and it's got poison in it. That's what's going on to the American public. And if you're not aware of that, I think all of you are. I'm just here to tell you, you got to have a wake-up call. And the business that we're in at MPG Extreme is not about the gas tablet as much as it's about owning and operating a business of your own from home, that you can go out and you can take your income from here with expenses here, and you can take your income and put it up here. That's what it's about. It's about hopes, dreams, and possibilities. It's about owning and operating your own business. And if you're going to own and operate your own business, you need to do it with a product that has got universal appeal, that does not require high skills to present or explain. And I was thinking of a theme song for MPG Extreme. You guys remember back in the day, there was that kind of fun song that said, put the lime in the coconut and shake it all up. Do you all remember that song? It was a party song, right? Put the lime in the coconut. Come on, everybody, just dance with me, right? And put the lime, there's Mike Dews cutting a rug over there. Put the lime in the coconut, shake it all up. Put the tab in the tank and drive it all around. Put the tab in the tank and save it all around. The point is that, how educated do you need to be to tell someone, put the tab in the tank and drive? Oh, by the way, fill your car. Don't forget to fill your car. Put the tab in the tank, fill your car, and drive. And then we've got a 3-step system. Now, here is the challenge. We'll talk about it. And that is, you don't need an education to own a McDonald's franchise. You need $1 million and the ability to follow their system. You don't need an education to do our business. You need $199 plus a couple of bucks and the ability to follow a system. It's the same, except for $1 million. And the point is that if someone needs to have it their way, their own way, they're probably going to struggle. So with that, we're going to talk about the simplicity of the system. Before we do that, on this wonderful August 29th of 2022, going into the fall, the weather is changing up here. We're coming into our fall up here in Idaho. I'd like to have Larry Alford take about 2 minutes. Larry, you got to do it condensed. I want you to share your testimony, let people know your name, where you're calling from, and you know what your experience has been with this product. Would you mind doing that?
No, that's great. Appreciate the opportunity there, Blaine. Originally, I'm from Seattle. I live in Michigan. Been out here for about 24 years now. I drive one of those big nasty 18 wheelers. Been all over the U.S. and Canada. But the last 7 months, I've been driving a consistent route, Michigan to Louisville, Kentucky, and back. And so, consistency lets you know exactly what your costs are, what you're doing, and all that. And I'm currently getting just under 8 miles to the gallon. And this includes idling anywhere from 4 to 12 hours in my round trip. And I went back and looked. And this is over 8 tanks, by the way, and it started right about that, and it's gone up a little, down a little, but stayed consistently really close to 8, just under. And I went back and looked at what I was buying the last 6 months in gallons, and I was averaging 20 gallons or more at each fill up, and just running the numbers off the top of my, well, not off the top of my head, I've done the numbers. That's $100+ every time I fill up this round trip. And, so for me, that's a couple $100 a week or more. It's really good. The big truck also in the newer models, which I have one, they have what's called a diesel particulate filter. And this burns excess carbon. And
Larry, I want to ask you a question if I could.
Sure.
So prior to, are you guys okay if I do a little coaching on a testimonial? Is that all right with everybody?
Sure.
So what I want you guys to do when you do testimonial, say, here is what I was experiencing before. Okay, so let's try that. So what you're experiencing before is how much fuel did you use in a particular time frame, in a week, in a day? What would be normal?
Well, I filled up every round trip, and it's between 770 and 800 miles, depending on which place I stop at. And I was averaging 125 to even 150 gallons on one of those round trips.
Okay, so how often would a round trip be?
I do either Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday.
So it's one round trip a week?
No, 2 to 3.
Okay, so let's say we do on the average 3 round trips a week.
Mhm.
How many gallons were you using on a round trip?
2243, about 360 or better is what I was doing.
And how much did that cost you? You were doing 360 gallons a round trip?
That's low end.
Okay, so on
no,
the
no,
low
no, no,
side-
I'm sorry. All 3. You asked for 3. So,
Okay, about 360 gallons a week.
right.
Okay, so at and now how many gallons a week are you using?
Just over 300.
So you're saving about 60 gallons a week, and how much a gallon are you paying?
Well, let's say I went up 70 cents a gallon the other day, so it's back up to $5. I was down to near 4.
So you're saving 60 gallons a week.
Mhm.
That is at $5 a gallon. That's $300 a week that you're saving. That's $1,200 a month. That's over 20. That's 15,000 a year. You're saving $15,000 a year. How do you feel about that as a trucker?
It's phenomenal. It really
Okay,
is.
so now I'm going to give the testimony. My name is Larry Alford. I'm a private hauler. I own my own truck, big 18 wheeler. I do these round hauls that are about 360. I use about 360 gallons a week. And when I put the product in the tank, I went down to about 300 gallons a week. And at the current price of diesel, which is going back up, contrary to what people think it's coming down, it's going back up. I'm saving
Lost your mic.
I'm sorry?
Lost your mic. I can't hear you.
Here.
Can you hear me, Mark?
We can hear you.
all hear
We can
you.
hear you.
We hear you
Can
fine.
Mark, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saving about 60 gallons a week at $5 a gallon. That's $300 a week. That's $1,200 a month. That's $15,000 a year. As an independent trucker, that $15,000 is what pays my bills, pays my insurance, and feeds my family. Can you imagine if we had 1,000 truckers on this, we'd be saving millions of dollars a year for private independent truckers. That's my story, and I know it's only going to get better. So a testimony needs to be on point, succinct, and quick. And great job, Larry. Congratulations. You just got a raise of 15,000 a year because of
Right.
MPG Extreme and the X cap. So with that said, we're going to run over now to Mark, and we're going to jump on. And I want to acknowledge Michael Dew's on here, my sponsor. And it's exciting that you got Michael Dew, Mark, you, me, Michael Dew, Michael Renz, and the company, the master distributors, Andrew and Nancy Berling. So we are the worldwide dream team. We're an independent marketing agent of MPG Extreme. So our training, our support is unique to us and what we do, the way we do it. There'll be lots of ideas kicked around out there. And I'm just going to say that the things that we teach come out of a proven background. The people that taught us how to do what we do were people that made millions of dollars in many cases per month. So none of this is on trial. And with that, I'd like you to get a notepad. I want to turn this over to my esteemed colleague, Mark Campese, to take 10, 15 minutes and run through the action plan.
Absolutely. So this is a real simple system that anyone can do. And we're going to teach it to you. So it's a 3-step action plan or 3-step plan of action, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to give you the 3 steps. The first step is to contact. That's right. Reach out to people you contact. And we'll fill in some blanks on that in a minute. The second step is to send. That's right. We contact, we send. And then the third step is to follow up. And that follow up is with the help of your upline leader, your hierarchy leader, any way you'd like to say it, with a leader. How's that? Because there's power in 2, and there's power in flowing power up to another person and letting them take over. But let's go back to the 3 steps. First of all, these 3 steps, you'd like these 3 steps to fully be accomplished in 24 to 48 hours. The shorter the time frame to do these three steps with an individual, the better it is. Okay, so if you let it go outside the window of 24 to 48 hours, you have less possibilities of success. And I can tell you, I can verify that from my own personal experience over the years. So you want to get it done in 24 to 48 hours, no different than McDonald's. For instance, they would say you cook your French fries 2.7 minutes, right? If you go beyond that, it's problematic, going to get burned fries and all that. So it's the same thing. This is a system. It works, and you want to fall within the guidelines of following the system. So the first one is we contact people. That's what we do. And I recommend, of course, you start contacting people you know, because that's where you have the most influence and the most power. And of course, when you contact them, there's a lot of different approaches you can take. And I'm going to have Blaine come in and just share a little bit in this as well. But when I call a person, I'm going to just, if I haven't talked to them in a little bit of time, or if I just talked to them yesterday, I'm going to call them and let them know that I've come across something that I find really amazing. I'm personally getting some great results out of it. And I want to see if they have an open mind to take a look at saving some money on their fuel costs, or making some money as well. And I'll just use that simple little bit. I'd like to save some money on the gas. Gas is high. I certainly don't like it. And would you be open to saving some money on gas and maybe even making some money? That's one simple little way you can talk to a person to get their interest, right? Because all you want to do now is get their interest. You want to have them. And of course, as I go through my little pitch, I'm going to say to them, would you be interested in some information? Great. I'm going to send you a video to watch. Can you watch that video in the next 15 minutes? And I'm going to try to get them caged into a time when they can watch it. If they say, no, it's not going to work for me, I say, well, when would you be able? Could you watch it this afternoon or this evening, whatever? Because I want to call them back as soon as they're done watching it. I don't want to just leave it hanging for days. Maybe they're going to get a chance on Thursday to watch it. It's Monday. So I want to sort of move them into the space, almost like setting an appointment with them. When will you watch? Get a commitment on when they're going to watch it. And that's when you're going to move, of course, to follow up. So I'm going to set up a time when they will look at it, and then I'm going to send it to them. And then, of course, I'm going to move for the fall. But Coach Blaine, why don't you share a little bit in this idea of really the approach, the contact?
I will. I'm going to step back just for a moment and say this to everybody. There are more than one way to get the soup cooked. So you may have something else you want to do. You want to identify and realize that you're an independent contractor. You can do whatever you want. And you can do it the way you want. So you can run out, give out samples, you can sell samples, you can go to a party, stand up on a table in the middle of a party and say, I'm the man with gas. You can do whatever you want to do. But I am going to tell you this. I use that example. Look at Jeff. He's taking care of the gas right there. So what I'm just saying to you is that, yeah, I'm Scottish. I have a very poor sarcastic humor. But what I'm saying to you is just because you think it's a good idea doesn't mean it is. And so if we take you into the kitchen, we've got some chefs that are in our business now, and they're very meticulous about how they prepare their food. They've got an order and a way they do it. And if you come into their kitchen, just watch Chef Ramsay, by the way. If you come into their kitchen and you change anything, it's going to create with them an ire. You won't create that with us. But the truth is that Mark and I and the leaders want to participate in your success, not your frustration. There is a recipe. Mark is talking about the recipe. And it's not a suggestion. It is a system. There's a difference between a system and a suggestion. A suggestion is, here's a couple ideas, you can try them out, fit them in with what you want. And that's like a guy trying to breed squirrels with horses. It doesn't work. In network marketing, keep in mind, your chances of success are tiny. 95% of people never make any real money. So you want to hedge all your bets towards yourself. Does this make sense? By a nod of your head, does this make sense? So we're not giving you suggestions. We're giving you a system right now that only works if you run it accurately. Like Mark said, 2.7 minutes, whatever the time is on the French fries, I don't know what it is, but they don't run a restaurant at McDonald's. Those managers and those staff people, they're not running a restaurant. They're running a system that is based on buttons and timers. You understand that? All the food is weighed out exactly the same at every restaurant in the world. And every machine is calibrated exactly the same. And the manager, if they step out of the system, they will ruin the results for the investor. Does this make sense to anybody? Say yes if it does. The reason I'm saying that is we're laying out a system right now that we know has created multi-millionaires. Now, we make no claims of income. But one thing I can tell you, if you do not run this system, your likelihood of success is handicapped. You'll struggle. It'll take longer. So now with that said, and if you have someone else you want to learn from or develop, by all means, you have a right to do that. But we teach a very finite system, formatted system, right, Mark? It's a formatted system. Mm-hmm. Now with the approaches, I think simple is best. So when you approach someone, we know that there is a lot of pain tied to the fuel price and tied to inflation right now. Would you all acknowledge that? A lot of pain tied to fuel prices and to inflation right now. And when there's pain, people want a solution. Until there's pain, there typically people won't move. So you want to play into that pain by, when you're talking to someone, bring up a comment that aggravates the pain and then agitate it. So how do I do that? I'm talking to somebody, I'm going to role play with you, Mark. I'm talking to somebody, I run into him somewhere. Let's say I don't know Mark. I run into him, I'm shopping at the sporting goods shop, and I said, hey, that's a good looking cap you got on there. Did you get it here at Sam's Sporting Goods?
Yeah, I did a couple weeks back.
I'm going to go check that out. It looks good on you. I hope it looks as good on me. My name is Blaine. What's your name?
My name is Mark. Good to meet you, sir.
Hey, I'm just curious, Mark. Do you know where the local theater is here in town? I don't know Mark, so I want to ask him something that will open conversation up. I don't want to pounce on him about what I'm doing like a predator. And everybody knows where the theater is in town, don't they? Everybody knows where the post office is. So ask them something, but if you're at the sporting goods shop, please do not ask them where the sporting goods shop is. But you could ask them, if you're in the fishing section, you could say, hey, do you know where the clothing section is? As long as it's not right there. Don't do something that looks a little moronic. So Mark, I just asked Mark a question. Hey, Mark, do you know where the local theater is here in town?
Sure, it's not far from us. It's in town center.
It's in town center. Okay, I can look that up on my map and I appreciate it. Hey, let me ask you a question. How are the gas prices and fuel prices doing down here?
They are disgusting.
Okay, now watch how I made the segue or the transition. It was pretty natural, right? But if I walked up to a stranger and I said, hey, how you feeling about the gas prices? It's like alien coming out of the person's belly, right? Woo, the gas guy. So, or the gas gal. But no, I talked to him. Hey, how you doing? I asked his name and then I said, I asked him a simple question that he can answer. So he's now getting warmed up. And then I say, hey, how you feeling about the fuel prices here in the local area? And he tells me, disgusting. That tells me that he's bearing pain and I have a solution for it. Put the lime in the coconut. Yeah, you got the ointment, right? Now, don't pull the ointment out at this point and give him the chemical composition of the ointment. Just tell him you got the ointment and it'll take the pain away. So I say to Mark, disgusting. That sounds like you're pretty fired up about it. You think most people around here are upset about the fuel prices?
Absolutely.
Well, I work with a friend of mine that's got a solution for that on a little 5-minute video. Remember, Mark said, tell him to watch the video. How long? Make sure you tell him it's only 5 minutes or it's only 7 minutes. Otherwise, they might think it's a long view video. So they might answer based upon incomplete information. So what do? You just say, I've got a little 5-minute video. I want you to watch it. It has a solution on it. Would you like to take a look at that video? Ask them if they would like to take a look at it. Don't shove it down their throat. Mark, would you like to watch that video?
Sure, I'll take a peek.
All right, I'm going to send it over to you. Do you prefer to watch it on your phone or would you prefer to watch it on your computer?
My phone works great.
Good. I'm going to text it over to you. Let me get your number real quick. I get his number and then I text it over with a little note. Take the time to watch this. And I text that to him right when I get out of sight. But before I leave him, I say, hey, Mark, when can you take that short? Use the adjective short. When can you take that short 5 minutes to watch the video? Can you do that right away?
I could probably do it about 1 o'clock. I'll be back home by then. It'd be a good time just to focus on it.
But yeah, I don't want you watching it while you're driving in town. So I'm going to call you at 1:10 if that's okay, and just see how you feel about it. Or I'll send you a text and I'll get your thoughts and we'll fill in any blanks. Fair enough? I'm
Sounds
done.
good.
Okay, so that's the approach. Now, all week long, we're going to talk about this thing. We're going to talk about 2 things the next 2 days. The 3-step system and the approach. And the third thing we're going to talk about for the next 3 days is closing the month out by ranking up. So the next step, Mark, is
Send. You get the send done.
so you just send it.
That's right. You just
We don't
send it.
need, do we need to talk about that?
No, there's
what are you
nothing
gonna
to
send?
talk about.
You're going to send one of 2 videos and nothing else. If you change what this is, you're cooking the French fries for 4 minutes. You're going to send either the 7-minute product overview video. Where can I get these videos, Blaine, you might ask? You can get them on our YouTube channel. Just go online to dreamteamchannel.com. You go in there and you look for one that is called product overview. You send that one. That's a 7-minute video. Kevin Hunter did that. I give him credit. Or you send the MPG opportunity. That's what it's called, Mike, isn't it? The MPG opportunity. That's 5 minutes. Who do you send which one to, Mark? What would you say? Which one would you send?
Well, if a person is probably leaning more towards product or maybe a little skeptical or something along that line, Not my sense that he's looking for an opportunity or a business, home-based business. I probably would just send the product one. Anyone
Okay.
to me that has any opening to make money, I'd want to send the opportunity video.
Do not send both. Do not send both. More is not better. Bite-sized pieces are more powerful. So how do I pick which one I use? Just like Mark said, if I'm talking to someone and they're saying that, they're bothered by the prices, and I say, do you think people are being affected by this inflation here? And I said, I bet most people like to make more money. I'm going to send you a video to talk about generating income and building a future by helping people. I'd send them the 5-minute opportunity video. If they're stoic, if they've got the kind of a mindset of an engineer or accountant, in other words, they're a little bit maybe uptight, I send them a 7-minute product overview video. But I will always end up sending both, but I send the second one in a follow-up, not at the same time. More is not better. Some of us have a tendency to want to send 19 documents, 4 videos, and then we can't figure out. Jeff Fluck is hey, you are absolved, Jeff Fluck. I absolve you of your transgression. Yes, Father Mark will absolve you. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody here. So here's what I'm saying is that more is not better. We got to wrap this up. Tomorrow we'll carry it on, but we'll wrap it up with this. More is not better. Bite-sized pieces are better. And you want them to have curiosity. Your goal is not to give them so much information that you're overwhelming them. You want to give them only enough information that they have questions. And then the last thing is the follow-up. We'll lead with a little teaser on the follow-up. We'll cover the follow-up tomorrow, Mark. But the key about the follow-up is that the rep who's approaching the prospect, you got the rep, the ISR, you or me, we're approaching our prospect. You can get on the phone with them after they watch the video and get into a lot of discussion. I don't think it's a good idea. And Mark will tell you why.
Yeah, because too much information can spook people, can give them the wrong opinion, jump to a wrong conclusion. You don't want to do that at all because you scare them away.
The other thing is that how many of you would like to be able to sponsor people very spontaneously and have them sponsor people very spontaneously? I mean, how many of you are struggling with your people going out and replicating? Okay. The reason is because when you approach them, you're giving them a picture of how much they need to know to get started. So what you're doing is telling them by your actions how much they need to know before they can get started. So why don't you watch this? I approach Mark. I run into him. I've never met him before. He came off of a lead. He came off of a ad, or I ran into him somewhere. It doesn't matter. He's cold market. And I talked to him for about 2 minutes. And then I say in that conversation, how you feeling about these fuel prices, Mark? And he tells me, I say, I work with a guy that's got a solution for that. He's been helping the trucking industry out. He's got a little short video, 5-minute video that can explain that. Would you like to watch that video? Can give you a solution. And he says, what do you say, Mark? I'd watch it.
Yeah, I want to
I'm
watch.
going to send the video to you because I think it's going to have an impact. And then I'll follow up and we'll get all your questions answered. Now I follow up and I end up having somebody with me. I have Mike Do with me. I have someone out. I don't want that person getting on the phone and doing a science class with them or doing a 20-minute explanation of this thing. This is not romancing the stone here. This is getting someone to buy a pill to put in the tank, $2 pill to put in the tank and save money. You don't need to turn them into a rocket scientist. So what I do is when Mark calls back, the average length of time when we get on the phone with them till they are signed up is about 12 to 14 minutes. That's the average length of time. Who has been on any of these calls that I do and can attest to that? Anybody? Okay, Jeff, just real quick before we wrap up, have you noticed that your mic is off, by the way? Have you noticed, Jeff, that okay, I got to go to someone else because Jeff's mic's turned off. So, Mike, there you go, Jeff. Thank you. Have you
Well-
noticed that, Jeff? Have you noticed that you don't need to educate them at all? You just need to find their pain, give them a solution, and sign them up.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, big difference. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, what you said is exactly right. 10 to 12 minutes and you've got the job done.
So here's my question. This is not your best friend. This is not someone you know. If they say no to you, you're never going to see them again, likely. Why is there any desire on your part to try to become close friends with them? You have a $2 pill that can save that can save them 15, 20 bucks. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Tomorrow, we're going to cover that follow-up in the 3-way call or the conference call and the sign up. We're going to go from that to the startup of a new person, because the goal is to get that person signed up and for them to realize that you only know enough to ask them if they're tired of the fuel prices and to send them a video and to introduce them to somebody. Now, what is the Achilles heel here? Mark, the Achilles heel is when they get to know more, they have a tendency to want to talk more. So what you want to do is you want to realize that with your prospects, your personal prospects, you keep it streamlined like we just shared, and you're learning everything. So when your team has prospects, you're the expert for them. Does that make sense to you? But
Yes.
with your prospects, you're never the expert. You've got a friend that's got a company that's helping people and you're getting the word out for him. Let me introduce you to them. And that whoever that person is, your upline that's helping you. Does this help everybody?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to kick the mic off. We're going to end the call, but anybody wants to stick on and ask questions can.